What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Kamusta? How's it going? Magandang gabi, magandang hapon, magandang umaga, whatever it is, morning, afternoon, night, whatever it is. We have a special video today. I'm doing my album review for the Eraserheads Ultraelectromagneticpop, their first studio album, the debut studio album of the amazing alternative rock band from the Philippines known as the Eraserheads, released by BMG Records in 1993. Ultra Electromagneticpop spawned hit songs such as Ligaya, Toyang, Paraco, and the album brought the underground Philippine college rock scene into public awareness and the emergence of Eraserheads mania because of successive hit singles and sold-out concerts. This was the beginning of the evolution, the beginnings, the beautiful beginnings. So yeah, let's jump into the review. My first listen on this, I enjoyed a lot. It's definitely influenced, I think, by a lot of like 60s, 70s rock music. And you hear that in the tracks. The opening track of the album, Easy Kalam, reminds me specifically, and the very first time I listened to it, it reminded me of a song by the Four Tops called I Can't Help Myself. And it's famous for going, sugar pie, sugar pie, honey bunch. Do 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 do. Go listen to it. Yeah, just search up YouTube, the Four Tops, Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch. That opening riff reminded me of that right away, and that song came out in 1965. So I think a lot of that influence came from that sort of like mid 60s rock music. It's got funky bass, bouncy guitars, great percussion, beautiful melodies, and yeah, it's sort of summery feeling to it. It must have been a big hit, I would imagine, when it came out. Tracks like Paraco obviously was a big hit. I think that's potentially where they sort of got their start beginning, when they were playing for university crowds. It's got that beautiful acoustic, and it was actually interesting of note, was adapted into a film as well. The song was almost banned on Filipino radio at the time because it had a swear word in the song, tangino. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it translates loosely in English to son of a, yeah. And that was the third single off the album. Maling Akolo, Wrong Thought, comes across, has a bit of a different feeling. It's kind of a country feeling, but really nice bass on there. The chemistry between the band is fantastic. I did notice throughout the album there was a lot of great percussion work, so I'm not sure exactly who produced this record, but the recording of the album started in July of 1992 to April 1993 with really strange working titles which didn't end up on the album, but based on their previous notes, they had a somewhat hard time in their recording sessions. It was stated there are two things going on in their recording sessions: heaven and hell. Hell, AC and brownouts, floods, rain, and destroyed equipment, no DATs, and yeah, there was a lot of up and downs in the recording of this album. It had a 25th anniversary remastered version as well. But we'll get back into the tracks that I liked. Shake Your Head, which I believe is the very first totally English song, and I really love the melody on that. I grew up in a town where they always trap. I can't remember the melody actually, damn it. Darn it. No, I can't remember the melody right now, but it was a great track. Then there's like funny little interludes, like Ganjaz, short, like very jazzy interlude. Ligaya, which translates, of course, to like joy, happiness, delight, and the music reflected that on that track. It's full of really cool percussions. Toyang, which is sort of like a folk type inspired love song, which alludes to Paul McCartney, and a version of a song which was for Nat King Cole. But then there's Honky Tonk's Granny, sort of like a country honky tonk song. I love the guitar on there. Lolo Told Me Not to Smoke, So we got some funny lyrics on there. A track like Shirley, you have rock riffs, which is fantastic, and the drums are great. And of course, one of my favorite songs that I've even reacted to before was Combo on the Run. It's also an English song, but really, really fun. Sort of blues inspired, just raucous rock track, which I absolutely loved. But the album as a whole, I love the album art as well. The album art it reminds me of the album art from the Beastie Boys Hot Sauce Committee Part 2. But anyways, let's get into some trivia. Parako and Walang Heyang Parako are the same song. The latter one appears near the end of the album, but it's just a radio-friendly version of the former. It does not appear on the 2018 remastered version of the album. Toyang was slightly inspired by Too Young, a composition written by Sylvia D and Sidney Lipman, which was well known for Nat King Cole's rendition. The song also makes reference to several Filipino folk songs, and as well as the Paul McCartney penned single Silly Love Songs. Buendia's inspiration behind the song was his then longtime college girlfriend Victoria Cayago. Ganjaz was a jazz version of Honky Tonk's Granny and recorded with a Jojo Akazmas on vocals. But yeah, this album has a modified version with a parental advisory sticker in the cover art of the original release. It reads, "Parental advisory. Some songs may not be suitable for children, but there isn't anything in this album that your kids haven't heard before." That's funny. That sounds like something Marty McFly would say. I enjoyed this a lot. I think it was a really good starting ground for them. I love the title. It was just a really, really solid, concise, well put together rock record, alternative rock record, whatever you want to call it, and definitely the beginnings of sort of the OPM emergence, and then they of course influenced a lot of bands after them, River Maya and Sponge Cola, and I know Apple Hiking Society came up before, but it really sort of, I think, opened the door for a lot of other bands after they came out, and the album brought the underground sort of college rock scene into public awareness, and it was the first look into these guys, and it was a joy, man. I enjoyed it, even though for the very, very most part it's all Tagalog, so I couldn't understand for the majority, but regardless, the instrumentation, the instrumentals, the production, the bass riffs, bouncy guitar riffs, it was all great, man. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, solid 8 out of 10 for an opening record. I think that's fair. So anyways, we'll see you all soon. If you have any other recommendations for reviews, let me know, and I'll give it a listen. I'll give my thoughts on it. Peace out.